There is a lot going on and a whole lot to talk about right now. In an absolutely incredible finale to the Light and Darkness saga, the whole Destiny community just came together to finally defeat the Witness. Which, by the way, I'll have a full review on the Final Shape expansion going up sometime in the next couple days, so be on the lookout for that if you want to hear my comprehensive thoughts on the Final Shape. But after this ending, Bungie released this Vidoc titled The Journey Ahead, which, by the way, at the time of recording this, is number 3 on YouTube trending. I just thought that was pretty awesome. In this Vidoc, Bungie shows off the 3 episodes coming this year, as well as what we can expect from them, and they went into a lot more detail than I was expecting. All of this stuff looks really cool and has me very intrigued. Echoes actually started today, so that's available to everyone as we speak. But the thing that most players, understandably, were looking for is what really comes next? What is the next expansion, or the next big threat, the next saga, the next game, potentially? Well, they didn't answer that question fully or really at all. Instead, Bungie gave us a cryptic teaser for Year 11 of Destiny, simply titling it Destiny 2 Codename Frontiers. So, what on earth is this? Well, for the one person in the back that's currently asking, Toad, how do you know this is Destiny 2 and not Destiny 3? So this is not a new game, clearly. Bungie definitely put this here just so that there would be absolutely no question in our minds. We are definitely not getting a new game next year, which I don't think anyone really expected. And I will say, I do believe Destiny 3 is something that will happen at some point in the next 3 to 5 years. It's just definitely not happening this year or next year, which again, makes total sense. So if not Destiny 3, then what is Codename Frontiers? Well, let's start with option 1. Which is probably the most obvious option, and that's a new yearly expansion similar to the likes of Lightfall, The Final Shape, and Witch Queen. This is, of course, very possible, and I'm not going to rule it out just yet. However, I do think Paul Tassi had a good point when he said that if this was a yearly expansion, Bungie probably would have just given us a name, not a code name. The reason being that back when they announced Beyond Light, Witch Queen, and Lightfall, and even Final Shape later on, they gave us names for those expansions, even though they were still years out. Now, I do believe that was a bit different given that those expansions were all tethered to the Light and Darkness saga's ending, but it's a good point nonetheless. I also heard Dado say that he believes the reason that all we got was a codename is because Bungie themselves aren't really entirely sure what it is yet, or something like that. I'm paraphrasing, so don't take that as a direct quote from him. This, however, I also feel is unlikely, but I think I do see where he's coming from. Bungie definitely knows what this is, at least on a broad scale. They have to. They may not, however, know the specifics, such as what model this project will take on. Will it be an expansion? An episodic model? It's very possible they just don't know that part yet. But in terms of what the content will be story-wise, that's something I'm almost 100% sure they at least have a good idea about. Now, let's look at another option. What if Codename Frontiers is actually another set of 3 episodes? It's probably a good time to mention that the name Frontiers seems to be really hinting towards us leaving the Sol system, which is something that we've all been wanting for a long time, and given the state of the story at the moment, it definitely makes sense. While my initial reaction was to say, well, what if we get 3 episodes wherein each episode we visit a new planet in another system, such as maybe the Andromeda system? Thinking about this more, this is very unlikely. I just don't see them giving us 3 new destinations in a single year all in episodes. Actually, scratch that. That's straight up not gonna happen. Ultimately, whatever this Codename Frontiers is, I think it's really going to establish what the next saga is all about and where we'll be going. The first 3 episodes, Echoes, Remnant, and Hersey, are all clearly establishing some new threats and tying up some loose ends. You can think of these 3 episodes as kind of a bridge between now and the next saga. We know that the Dreadnaught is coming back in Hersey, and I've even heard some people speculating that we'll actually take the Dreadnaught and pilot it to other planetary systems. I personally don't think that'll happen due to the very hostile nature and appearance of the Dreadnaught, but you never know. Ultimately, I do think Destiny 3 will happen eventually, just not anytime super soon. And I think this Frontiers year is going to establish that this next saga is about expanding humanity's reach and exploring more of what this universe has to offer. Funnily enough, I actually had about a 20-minute conversation with my friend Donovan the other day, and in only about 20 minutes of talking, we were able to think of so many possibilities for Destiny's story, settings, ability, and weapon sandbox going forward. And I'm sure you all can as well. So there's no shortage of ideas or possibilities when it comes to Destiny, and I can't wait to see what Bungie has when they're ready, which at the end of the day is the important thing. Bungie tends to cook the hardest when they have time in the kitchen. Who would have thought? So let's just trust them and see what they have for us when the time is right. Things feel a little weird right now. good, but also weird at the same time. Like a void has been left in the wake of the Witness's death. I feel it, I'm sure you feel it, and Bungie probably feels it too. And that's okay. That's normal. Hell, I feel that way every time I finish a big project. We all just accomplished a massive feat, Bungie included. Now that the adrenaline is wearing off, it's normal to feel a little, dare I say it, lost. But the Traveler gave us the gift of finding our own purpose in this vast universe, however big or small it may be. And it might just be that this purpose now lies in the stars beyond our solar system, in the foes new and old that we're bound to encounter, and in all the places we have yet to see. So take a breather, rest, treat yourself to some good food, maybe hop in and see what Echoes has to offer. But take solace in the fact that there's still plenty more for us to do, even if that's not immediately apparent. And that this game has been a part of our lives for so long and will continue to be a part of our lives in whatever form that takes. But for now, there's a bit of a problem on Nessus, and I think Failsafe would appreciate our help and company. As for myself, I have a lot of videos to make and a story of my own that I think it's about time we continue. If you enjoyed, a like would be greatly appreciated. Subscribe if you're new for more fun Destiny content every week, and until next time, Guardians, goodbye.